Okay, people, so here we go. First thing we're going to talk about is variables. Variables you can think of as like a little box that you can put things in. It's not the most basic building block. We have something called the native types, which are the most basic. These are things that basically can't be changed. Um, so, for example, something that's the native that can't be changed, like a number. Like you can't go any lower than that. It can't be less complicated. There's a string, which is just a string of characters inside a pair of quotes. Maybe others, but that's it for now. So variable. Look at this page I'm on here first for a moment. This is repl.it. It's an environment. They do different languages. This one obviously is for JavaScript. But you have you enter what you want to do over here on this side, and it gives you the output over here. So basically, you can type a little bit of computer code, and it spits out the result. For example, if I type in the letter, well, a string of characters. What it's going to return to us, because this isn't really an instruction of what to do, right? Or anything, so what do you think the result is going to be? We can run the code, right? So we write something and then here we run it. Hello world. Okay, so what it does, it's going to return something for everything. If you don't explicitly tell it to return something, then it has certain defaults. So for example, primitives, if you just type the primitive by itself, it returns the value of it. So in this case, we have a string here, which is primitive. So you put it in and you type it in and you get it back, basically. So the way this repl.it works is whatever's the last line is the only thing that's going to go. So for example, I put something new in the last line. I put number 4. So number 4 is a primitive also. Right? The number is a primitive. So what should we get? What should it return if I run this now? Think about it. Here we go. Gives us back 4. That makes sense. Like I said, this is not going to do the hello world. It's going to do whatever the last line is. 4 is primitive, so it gives us back the value. How about if I do just the letter A? Any ideas? Well, here we go. Reference error. A is not defined. I don't know why it's not defined. Isn't that just a character, or a string of characters? Turns out, to be a string of characters, it needs to be in a set of quotes. What it's doing here is it thinks that your letter A is a variable. So it looks up in the previous code we have up here, and it's looking for us to declare a variable and give it some sort of value. So that's what it means. It's a reference error. It means it's trying to refer back to the program that we wrote before it and find, did we assign a value to letter A? It's not only did we not assign a value, it can't find it anywhere. It cannot refer to it. There's a reference error. If we wanted to get back A to return from here, what do we need to do? That's right, it should be in quotes, right? Oops. Yep, there we go. Single quotes, double quotes, doesn't matter. Okay, so that is just more or less primitive types. We didn't even do a variable yet, right? Okay, so let's say, let's do another string, right? Okay, what should we get back here when we run this? That's right, the quick brown fox. Right, so let's say we wanted to repeat that again. For some reason, we had a program where we needed to repeat that a lot. You don't need to be typing that every time, over and over and over. So what you can do is you say let, and this could be anything. So there's a couple ways to declare a variable in JavaScript. The old way was var, just the keyword var, and the newer ways are let and const. The point of this video, this section is not explaining every single concept, so I just want to tell you for now, we're just going to pretty much use let. Okay, and there are reasons to do each one, but again, that's not within the scope of this video. For various reasons, I'm just going to use let. Could be var, could be let, could be const. These are three different keywords for declaring a variable. So we have a keyword, let, the name of the variable, and then the value, right? So you're saying let the variable name saying equal the quick brown fox. So what do you think this is going to return when I run it? Let's find out. A. Why do you think that is? Any idea? Well, I'll tell you why. This let saying the quick brown fox, it doesn't return anything. We're not telling the computer to give us something back. We're just saying, hey, that's what the let is the hey, we're going to have this thing called saying, and it's got a value. We're not telling it to give anything back. So it finds the last thing that does return a value. The last thing it returned a value was this string a. If we want to have it return the value of saying, now that we have it declared, it's referred to, right? It won't get a reference error if we do it. We're sure because we just declared it. If we just do saying, it gives us the value, okay? So it's almost like it's turning it into a kind of primitive. It's not a primitive. That's a weird way to say it, but I mean, the point is that it returns something now. If we didn't do this, let's get rid of that for a second. I can do comment it out. That's a comment in JavaScript, by the way. If you have the 2 slashes before a line of code, it's like it's not there. As far as the computer is concerned, it doesn't even exist. I might as well have deleted it. So now, what should we get? Should be reference error, right? Yeah, because it's never referred to. There's nothing for the saying to refer back to. But here, now we do. It's there. And again, now it's fine. It returns the value. Okay. Let's see. Variable. Okay, so that's basically the gist of a variable. Okay. It's like a little box that you can put information in, and you open the box and get the information back out. So, all right, with that being said, there's one quick other thing we need to cover here. You could change the value of saying here. So right now, when we call for saying, we get back the value that we had in here. We can go ahead and reassign the value. Okay, so now what happens if we tell me what's going to happen if we run it right now? Anybody? Anybody? Honestly, I'm surprised that's what it returns right there. But I guess it's because it's not doing declaring when you, I guess you're reassigning, it actually is returning something. I'm still surprised at that. But anyway, just to do it in the same format we did before, if we do saying, it should return the new value, right? Okay. We want to, let's get rid of this, all right? I don't want to, get too confusing here with changing the. All right, so summing it up, right? You have you do to with variables you declare a variable by using the var let or const keyword here. And then you give it a name of what your variable is called, right? And then you assign it a value. So keyword, name, assignment, value. And then when you type name or refer to the name, it gives you back the value, right? So that's what's going on here. That's the last thing we're told to do here is, hey, give me the value of saying, right? One quick little aside thing here. When you're running a program, a JavaScript program in the browser, or in Node in the terminal, let's not muddy the waters here. Just say, because our focus is web development. There's something you can do called console log that allows you to, in a web page, it's something you wouldn't see. You have to do a little trick to see it, but it's sort of behind the scenes. But developers can know how to get there and take a look at it. So you could say console log and then a name of our variable, and if we run it, so it's a little different, right? What it's doing here, here's the part, the quick brown fox is doing the console log. This area will be kind of called the console, right? We're logging the value here to the console. Now, so why is it saying undefined? Well, because if you remember, everything has, when you do some sort of assignment here, tell the computer to do something on this last line, it does the thing, but then it does returns. Remember we said it always returns something? Like back here, hello world, the string returned the string hello world. Here it returned 4. Well, now we're telling it to do something right to the console. We're not telling it to specifically to return anything. So it says the return value is undefined. We didn't tell it what to return. So it may seem almost the same. Like, so for example, remember this is the comment. It's like that's not there. So the last thing we're doing here is we're saying, tell me what the value of saying is, right? Which is the quick brown fox. So that's the return value. We're not console logging here. We're telling it, hey, give me the return, give me the value of this. Whereas this, we're saying, print it to the console. But then I still need to give a return value. Well, you didn't tell me what the return value is. I used saying, but I used it as part of the console log, not as it didn't ask for return value. So minor difference, okay? Let's get rid of this console log. Hopefully that didn't muddy the water too much, okay? Bottom line is declare a variable, give it a keyword, name, assignment, value, call the variable, it returns the value. Okay? Okay, that's a good spot to stop for variables.